compost. I have been vermiculturing or worm composting for about 4 years. I've learned a lot about it, only had my worms here in the basement of my house because they perform a lot better when they're not cold, just like us. This is my can of worms. Literally called can of worms. It's 3 layers, so it's got a top layer here that has some holes in it, so you can kind of see through them. And you can see on the bottom here, oh, there's some wormies on there. This is what the top looks like, and I've gotten really good at layering. So you can see I've got my worms in here. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this layer off, and honestly, it's probably the most annoying part is taking the 3 layers off. Oh, and it's pretty heavy. The first one's always pretty heavy. So now I've got, that is my first layer, is you'll see the second layer, and I'm gonna go ahead and take it up. What's cool is they have holes on the bottom and that allow the worms to pass through. So what's really neat is once I make this the second one here, you can see how this sits right above, and so worms can pass through. So this is the middle compost, so that's gonna turn into my bottom. And then this is the finished, beautiful compost. And then the bottom is the leach-it. Now I will say the leach-it tends to smell the most. However, you can basically siphon it off. And now there's a little spigot here, so you can just pull out leach-it. You can see I don't have that much. When spring comes, I'll clean this out more. There's some worms down there. Hopefully they'll come up. A lot of times they'll come up and they'll smell the food. So here is the finished compost. So you can see not many worms left. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful compost. I mean, it literally looks like store-bought compost. You'll see the 3 here, right? So here's a perfect example. And it's kind of hard to tell, but this one is a little bit less finished. So the worms still got some work to do. Here is where I've been layering and layering and layering and layering and layering, and it sits above this, which the key is this right here looked like that. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean out this one, put it in a bucket, put this one on the bottom. This one's gonna become my middle, which if you can tell, it can sit on top, which is really nice. So then the worms that are done with this compost, they're gonna actually come up and they're gonna say, oh, hey, I would rather have this. So I'm gonna eat some of that. And then this guy is gonna be empty, and I'm gonna go ahead with this stuff right here, and the new compost, I'm gonna fill him up, right? Everybody following at home? So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, and this is gonna be the bottom new finished one. This guy back on top. And now I'm just gonna scrape the compost out. Just using a scraper. And what's nice is I can get almost all of it. You can see there's some worms in there, not many, but there's no real bits of stuff. Like it's pretty much the compost and worms. It smells so good. It's just earthy, right? It's crazy. Like people don't realize, you're like, oh, worm poop. Oh, that's disgusting. And it's like, actually, it's one of the most incredible things. It really is. So I'm just gonna scrape as much as I can. All right, that's pretty good. So I've got a semi-clean worm bucket. So I'll do a brown layer of this first. And again, all of this is free. All of this is stuff you would recycle or throw away. I'm doing this like every 3 or 4 months to get that finished there, right? So every week when that compost bucket fills up, I've literally been putting compost in here, and they're just eating it and eating it and eating it and eating it and eating it, and it's turning into worm poop that falls to the other layers in the can of worms. But the thing to think about is every week I'm just emptying all of that in there, and then all I'm doing is what you're seeing here. So I'm starting right now with a nice layer for them. So I got some house plants, I've got a cardboard roll, and you see I've got some cucumbers. I'm not gonna put all of this in here. So I got some greens. So I got some snake plant. I'm just gonna kind of mix this up. You can see I've got some stalks from some house plants. I haven't had any pests or any other issues, which is kind of incredible. So I've got these, all those, that's a good one. Now I'm gonna put another carbon layer. It doesn't have to be neat. It's really about I've got nitrogen, now I've got to put carbon, right? Make your life easy. Nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon. I really think compost is the gold that you really need to be a great gardener. And now I've got my compost bucket, spread that. Again, I want to then put some carbon. Now there's carbon in here, you'll see. I've got paper towels. So there is some carbon in the waste stream, right? So I'm adding carbon to some carbon already. What you want to be wary of is anything that has like any kind of plastic on it. You want to make sure that it's true cardboard paper. Now I'm going to dump the rest. And typically what I do is I'll dump them on the center. I just emptied out my compost. Compost bin is ready to get cleaned. What I always like to do is I like to put a final carbon layer. So I just like to get the sides and really like to cover everything. And the worms love this. Like, this is really good food and they're really gonna love this sitting on this paper. They love sitting on that paper. If you go to Uncle Jim's worm farm, they'll sell like worm blankets you can put on here that worms love. And I find that this paper kind of does the same or similar thing. Probably in a week, you'll start to see worms will start coming up. So these worms will go, hey, there's food up there. All right, I'm gonna go check out the food up there. They're gonna multiply, they're gonna eat the food. Other worms will continue to eat this food, but they're always gonna search for new food upstairs and upstairs, and it's gonna go, the finished compost is gonna be below. So now what I'm gonna do pretty easily is I'm just gonna put this on the top. Set this for now on top. Now, normally what I'll do, just so that worms don't really escape, because there is a little gap, is I'll put a weight on there like that. So you can see I've got a little bit of a gap. That gap will 100% go away within like a week. Like, it'll start to go down and they'll start to come up here. And honestly, I'm left with some amazing finished compost. This compost that I just got, I will mix into some used soil to replenish and give some biological organic matter back into some used soil that I had. So yeah, vermiculture, it's that easy, it's clean, it's safe. Reduce your waste stream, and even more importantly, get some amazing compost. Compost has such an amazing value for your garden. It really can't be overstated how important compost can be, and vermiculture is some of the best compost around, especially when you know what you're putting in your waste stream. A lot of that stuff went into our bodies, and now it's going into our soil, and it's making our soil even better year over year over year over year. So happy composting. Like and subscribe if you like this video. I really want to try to share some of the cool things that I think are really important for the gardening that I've done, so that it just doesn't seem like, oh, you plant, you buy this stuff. No, it's a little bit of work for a lot of value. Worms, baby, worms. They're awesome. Worms are so cool.